Welcome, my name is Cheyenne. Today I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a tour of my garden. I garden in Phoenix, Arizona, Zone 9B, in my backyard. So if that's something you want to see, just keep watching. Alright, over in this first bed I have some pole beans in the back that are growing up this trellis. I have a few marigold flowers, and then there's some basil. So I have a lemon basil, cinnamon basil, and an Emily basil, which I think this raised bed right here in this area gets the most shade, and I think the basil isn't growing as fast as it could in this spot, so I might need to go ahead and move the basil somewhere else. And then in the middle here, last video, we went ahead and planted some zinnia seeds, so that I'm still waiting for most of those to pop up. I have two tiny Tims right here, and then over here in this corner, I have two dwarf tomatoes that are doing pretty well. So there's one right here, and then one over here in this corner. This dwarf tomato is the Wero Kawaii. And right here I have a celery that I'm letting go to seed. So it's huge, it's flowering. It's quite pretty when it goes to seed. And this raised bed over here, I have my gray zucchini right here. And this gray zucchini is already going to start producing soon, because you could see the female flowers right there. So I'm going to probably have to start getting out in the mornings to make sure that once these female flowers open, that it gets pollinated. So the bees can pollinate your squash, but if you want to be for sure, you can hand pollinate it. Just get out in the morning when the flowers open. And here's another gray zucchini, which also has, it has a tiny female flower right there, or female, yeah. So that one should start producing soon also. This one's a little more small though. Back here we have, this is the Marketmore cucumbers. Right here is an acorn squash, which is doing pretty well. And then in the corner I have a sunflower, which is about to flower. You can see the head forming over there. And then hiding under here is the beta alpha cucumber. There's some more cucumbers hiding here. I'm not sure how these cucumbers are gonna do, but we'll see, because it is starting to get real hot. But so far they're doing okay. They're just on the smaller side. Right here, last week we went ahead and we planted bush beans in this area, and they're starting to come up, but the birds have been pulling out some of them, so I will have a few empty spaces. So yeah, that's the bush beans. And then in this raised bed over here, we have the pumpkins, which these are the Jack Be Little pumpkins, and I never thinned them, so there's two plants. So I do think I might need to thin that down to one plant. And then again right here's the Jack Be Littles, and there's two plants over here also. It's a little hard to see. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the Jack Little. So there's 2 plants right here also. So I'm going to have to be thinning those out. But I want the Jack Little pumpkins to climb up this little trellis and grow like that. Over here we have a, what is this? Right here we have a round zucchini. Oops. Which is pretty big. And it's doing great. Let's see. Yeah, and that one also has the fruit on it, so this gonna start producing real soon. Hiding here we have a marigold, and right here is a, I think this is a Shasta daisy, and then back here is a acorn bush squash. Here, so that squash is also going to be producing soon. So yeah, they're pretty big, getting pretty big. And then over here is just another Shasta daisy. These are some snapdragons, which probably won't make it just because it's getting real hot. A Johnny jump up, which is gonna have to come out soon because of the heat. And yeah, this is a Roselle hibiscus, so I'll probably cut this down to just 1 plant. Or I might remove it just because I have a hibiscus or a Roselle plant in another part of my garden. We have pretty marigold. I had 2 calendula plants last week, and they were super beautiful, but they real quickly just went ahead and got, I think it was powdery mildew, and so I went ahead and ripped those out a few days ago. I think it's just too hot. Calendula. The calendula have just been doing awesome. But I'm pretty sure the calendula is gonna be dying out soon as it heats up. But I'm really loving it. And this is the tomato that was not doing well. I think like 2 videos back we took out the black cherry tomato that was right here, and we took that out because it died. And then my Roma tomatoes were not looking well. All the leaves were yellow and curled up like that. But if you see, it's starting to get its new green growth. So I'm thinking that these tomatoes will be fine. Same with this Roma. It was not looking well. And it has a few tiny Romas. They're so tiny. They look like cherries, not Romas. But we'll see what happens. So these tomatoes weren't doing well. But I left it in, and then I can see the new growth is coming out green. So I'm hoping it starts doing better. And then I have another little marigold right there. I just have marigolds throughout the whole garden. Right here, this tomato is the Tiny Tim, and the Tiny Tim is the tomato that's doing awesome. So with this tomato, I decided that I'm not going to prune it. I pruned the bottom Oh no. Okay, in the bottom of this tomato, I did prune it a little bit, but since this is the only tomato that's doing really well in my garden, I didn't want to prune it. I want it to just grow wild and produce as much as possible. You can see it's producing a little bit, but it is getting big and it has its flowers coming. Oh my gosh. Sorry, there's a black bee. And to make sure that the wind doesn't snap its branches, I sort of just put some stakes in. It's hard to see. And then I just tied the string all around it with the stakes. So you can see there's like 3 stakes. So the string is just tied around like that. And that's how I'm going to try and contain it, since I'm not going to be pruning it. And over here, another pretty marigold. Cute little bell pepper. This bell pepper plant is so small, and I think it's because when it first flowered and started fruiting, I should have took the pepper or the flower off, but I didn't. I just got excited and I left it, and now it's producing this cute little bell pepper. But because it's giving so much energy to the bell pepper, the plant is not getting bigger. And then over here, I have another bell pepper. And this one, you can see this plant is doing much better. It's much bigger. And I think that's because it didn't start fruiting so early. Right here, we have another, this is another sunspot or sundorf. It's like the little dwarf sunflower. It's the same as this one right here. So it's so cute. You can see it's going to, oh my gosh. You can see it's going to start flowering soon. So it's so cute and so small. I love that. So that's what I planted right here in the corner of this bed, just because I think that's so adorable. I'm so excited for it to flower. Alright, over here, just directly in the grass, I had a few extra tomato and pepper plants, and they're either black cherries or yellow pear tomatoes. I'm not quite sure, because I did not write the name, but I just stuck them directly in the ground, and that's directly in the native soil. Just see how they're gonna do. Here's the pepper. This looks like it might be a serrano pepper, and another tomato. Oh, this must be the black cherry tomato, because it's already getting its little tomatoes. You can see that. So this must be the black cherry tomato. I'm not sure what the other one is, but I'm excited because I had to pull out my other black cherry because it wasn't doing well. So this is just an experiment. I wanted to see how they grow, how the plants did if I had just put it directly in the ground instead of in a raised bed. So this is just native soil. So far so good. But yeah, these plants were gonna be composted, so it was just an experiment, and so far it's looking good. You can see over here too. They're doing pretty well. This grass is full of Bermuda though, Bermuda grass, which I don't like, but it seems like the things might do well directly in the ground. So in this bed, last week I had some real pretty chamomile in this bed on that side and that side, but I went ahead and took it out because my chamomile also got powdery mildew, and it like happened overnight, the whole plant, just like the calendula. So I think it's just getting too hot. My chamomile is so beautiful, And I went ahead and put some zinnia seeds over on this side and that side. So I'm waiting for those to pop up. And this is the okra bed we planted together, which all of the seeds came up, so we'll have to come thin them out pretty soon. But all the okra came up, so there's like different kinds of okra, green and red okra throughout the bed. I think there's 9 okra plants in this bed. And then right here we got this is a squash. It's looking rough. This is an acorn squash. It's looking pretty rough. Yeah, this one's a little bit not as good as the other ones, but. And right here we have a serrano pepper. This was a pepper that I left in a fabric bag since last year. It was in a fabric bag, stayed in there all winter, and it did not die. So I decided to save it by putting it in the ground. And it's doing great. It has a lot of new growth on it in my in-ground bed. Right here we have my garlic, which I'm not sure how the garlic's gonna do this year. This is my second year trying to grow it, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave it until it dies and I'm able to harvest it. Right here we have some dwarf tomatoes, and the dwarf tomatoes in this garden bed are doing so good. I have the same dwarf tomatoes over in the first raised bed that I showed you guys, and they're not doing as good as these ones. You can see it's already flowering and everything. So it's a pretty flower. Anyway, so in this raised bed, or in this location, they're just doing amazing. There's 2 of them in there. And then we have what is this? Another squash. Oh, this is a crookneck squash, and this one's doing good. That was 1 flower, 1 male flower. So I'll just be waiting for that one to get its female flowers. And then throughout this bed is just zinnias. But yeah, that one's doing good. And then over here in this area, I already put my shade cloth up because it's getting really, this area gets really hot. Let me see if I can show you. So I have my sunflowers. Oh, I don't know if I can show you guys. So the sunflowers, they're already starting to get their heads. So I'm excited for those to open up. Anyway, and then another little sunflower here. That one's getting a little head also. So yeah, we got my sunflowers. Right here we have a crookneck squash, which this squash isn't doing that well either, but we'll see. I have this is the black mountain watermelon. Over here we have Hell's Best cantaloupe. Take that out. So I'll thin this down in a little bit. I'm just leaving both of them just in case. Right here, I had an extra okra plant and I just stuck it here. Back here, we have a sugar baby watermelon. And then right here, we have Oraham kiwi basso, and this is gonna be a cantaloupe. And so my idea is to grow the cantaloupe and then this watermelon to kind of train it to go back up this little trellis I made, because I think this is the sugar baby, this is a bush watermelon, sugar baby bush, so I think it should be small. And then this is a cantaloupe, and I think this is also a smaller cantaloupe, so I think they should do okay growing up this trellis back here. Right here we have, this is the roselle, my roselle. So I'm excited for this one. It's doing great. And then right here, this is the Armenian cucumber. And instead of growing the Armenian cucumber up a trellis, I don't have another one. I'm just going to let it sprawl out throughout the ground. So we'll see how that does, because I know most people who grow Armenian cucumber grow it up some sort of trellis. My thought with the Hell's Best cantaloupe and the Black-tailed mountain, or yeah, Black-tailed mountain watermelon, is to just let them sprawl out onto the ground. Right here we have some zinnias. It's a little bit sunny. And I have chitapine peppers. I have 3 of them, so one right there, and one right there, with a few cosmos over there. And then this is just a random sunflower. And the chickens. These chickens are pretty cool. They lay blue chicken eggs. Right here we have my mint, which is doing well. Epazote. Right here is the shishito peppers we planted together. So they were looking a little bit rough. Oh, there's a pepper on there. How cute. But yeah, they were looking a little bit rough, but the new growth that's coming is green. The rosemary in that pot is doing well. Over here in this bag, we have 2 tiny Tims, which are not looking that great, but we'll see what happens. And then we have the purple tongue long eggplant, which was looking pretty rough, but again, it's growing its new growth and it looks good. Over here we have some thyme, which is doing good. And in this pot, 2 tiny Tims, which again doesn't look too well, but they should be fine. And then the Black Beauty eggplant, which is doing really well. It has a lot of new green growth and it looks good. Oh, good. Right here, the tiny Tims in this pot, oops, sorry. The tiny Tims in this pot look a lot better, and they're also starting to get some tomatoes. If you look in there. Yeah, it's getting tomatoes. But yeah, the tiny Tims in this little tiny pot are doing way better than the ones in the fabric bags, which I don't know why. Maybe it's the soil or something. I'm not exactly sure, but it'll be fine. And then also we got some oregano right here and right here, because this was supposed to be an oregano pot, but the seeds weren't coming up, so I added these tiny Tims, and after I added them, the oregano started popping up, and I was supposed to remove it and put it in a new pot, and I didn't, so it's all just growing together in this tiny pot. But it looks good, so I'm gonna leave it right here in this little pot. I went ahead and put some mini squashes in there, and I'll go ahead and thin it out and we'll see what happens. And then the potted peppers are doing good. Here's this Marconi pepper. Here's another Marconi pepper, which is growing at peppers already. We got the banana pepper, which I already took one banana pepper off, but there's quite a bit on there. Like seven peppers on that one. Right here we have the jalapeno, and that one's has its peppers growing already too. This pepper, this is an Anaheim, and this pepper, I don't know why, it's the only yellow pepper, and I fertilized it, but it is like lime green and yellow, and it's not doing that great, but it's alright. So this pepper, I don't know, it's the only pepper like that. Here we have another Anaheim, and this one's doing a lot better. It's nice and green and better. Right here we have, what is this? Oh, poblano pepper, and it has the pepper growing right there. So that's the poblano pepper. Another poblano pepper right here. No one's doing good. And it has one of its peppers growing also right there. And right here we have Jalaka. This is like one of the spiciest heirloom peppers, so I'm just growing that for fun. And it's doing good. Guys, well that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the garden, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.